Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Atomic09 on ThingiVerse for making this available. I appreciate it. Go ahead and tip them, pay it forward. Thank you to Logan at 3B Printing for doing this really quick. I made a decision. I wanted it. He printed it quick. So first, we're going to measure the wire. We're going to see where we are because, again, I got the wire, the screen, all from Vocor or Vonger. Relatively inexpensive for an extremely long cord. So, hey, why not just get it from them? It was $4.99 for the cord, and they're really good quality. So I will say that. So again, we're going ahead and, go ahead and strip some wire so that we can get things soldered up. As we strip, I usually twist the ends to make sure that they're all aligned together, because what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add some solder to the GX12, and then we're going to add some solder to the actual wires. But the GX16 is what I'm using on this one. Initially, I was going to use GX12, then decided I was going to use a Weipu connector. So didn't realize that the one I got from Weipu was a GX12 as well. I ordered some GX16s because that's what I had Logan make the box for. So we go ahead and just went on Amazon and ordered some GX16s. I will say they are significantly easier to solder to. It makes your life 100 times easier, and I would recommend it to anybody. Whenever you're messing with wires, always make sure you add on some heat shields, because again, as you get things soldered up and connected, you want to make sure you protect any wires from touching one another. Most times they won't, but it's always better to be safe than sorry. And you always want to protect yourself later down the day. So do good work now, it'll pay off for you later. So with that being said, we go ahead and we get all this added on. Now, I do not heat it up just yet, because I always want to test it first before I apply any final heat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working on the other end. So we're going to add some flux, some solder to the other end, just basically adding a nice pooled amount. Nothing too crazy, but just a nice amount so that, is readily and available for you when you need to add the wires. So I get that all added. Now, how I typically do this is I go ahead after I get this all measured out. And again, I measured incorrectly, so that's a problem on me. I didn't add, I added too much wire, so you'll see later. I end up having to fix that. I also, which you may not notice, I did not add the other end of the GX12 connector onto the cable when I connect it to the GX16. I keep saying GX12, but it's a GX16 cable. I don't add it to the other end, and I have to take all of it off and do it over again. So, just silliness on my part. But yeah, I do this whole part, and then, yeah, didn't do it. So had to take it all apart and then do it again and do it the correct way. So we add more flux to it, just to make my life easy. Again, I always connect both ends to just match them up. On any GX cable, you're going to see it's going to say 1, 2, 3, 4. You can use those to color code them so that you can just grab one end, solder it. 1 is this, 2 is this, 3 is this, 4 is this, and establish that methodology and use it moving forward. Or you could do like I do, connect both ends and just match up the wires. Now we test it to make sure that it works. Now that we know that it works, I'm good there. But as you can see, I'm having a little bit of trouble because I have too much there. So at the end of the day, since there's so much wire that's there, the problem with it is it turns out that I then have to move things around, use some electrical tape to kind of heat the wire up, move it down a little bit so they overlap, tape it together, and then fit it in. So don't make that mistake. Now we're getting to the case. I forgot to take the Vocor cover off of the screen, so you'll see me do that in a little bit. But this calls for a little bit glue to make sure that the nuts that you're going to use to attach the front and back together. So I just use some super glue, drop the nuts in. As I'm working on other areas, it dries super quick. So I get some double-sided tape. I use a double-sided tape to put on the back so that we can hold down that little Vocor, the data part of the screen. So this is always the worst thing to peel off, I swear. But once you get it down, you're good to go. I go ahead and put some, take off the screen, as I forgot. I go ahead and put the cable in, but I heat it up so I can bend it. That heat gun, and my good friend Natty about using it has been recommending it well. Use some hot glue to hold everything down in place. Put some along the ends to keep the screen where it needs to be, and that's pretty simple. We put the back on it. And as you can see, I use some M3 by 16s. They're just long enough. I would say M3 by 18s would be preferable, or maybe even by 20, but 18s would probably be recommended, but it does work well. Hey, what up, y'all? So we've got it all assembled. Now let's get it all installed. Really quick and easy process. Again, something simple. Atomic09 included, the actual dash. Check it out on ThingiVerse. I always recommend paying it forward. Thank you to my guy Ryan for also doing this on his stream, and then allowing me to do it on mine. So again, let's get it set up. So we've got it all plugged in here. There's nothing on the screen at this particular point in time. So what I'm going to do is make sure it's actually plugged in correctly because, you know, I've been messing with stuff. So now we got it here. What we're going to do is we're on our main dashboard. There's multiple different ways to skin a cat, as they say. You can either go to devices that is located here, or you can just simply in the new setup, just click on the plus symbol, and we'll do that. We click on the plus symbol. We're going to add a generic Vocore screen. And then, well, let's move this over because I can't see it. And then we're going to hit OK because I'm using my fourth monitor. We hit OK. Now we see something's on the screen. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the settings of this. I myself have multiple different Vocore screens. So I always connect to a specific screen. And then I use the drop down box because I wanted to always go to this screen. I will eventually change the picture and also rename the device because renaming it makes sense for me. You may not do that, but I think having things set up makes sense. I'm going to go into screen settings. I'm going to make it landscape rotated. I'm going to enable MPro or enable partial draw for MPro because this is a USB-C screen. They no longer sell their micro USBs, so that's perfect for me. We're going to move this window over and hit OK. Now we're good there. What you're also going to need to do, and again, thanks to Atomic09, he included the Simhub RaceLogic dash that you're going to need to run for this. So all you're going to do is simply open up the files that he included, and I'll include links to this all down below. What I recommend is before you do that, let's go ahead and close out Simhub. Now that we've closed out Simhub, let's go ahead and double click. Now I've already installed it, so when I import it, it's going to say already exists. That's fine. We'll click OK. Boom, it was installed completely. Next, we're going to go back and open up Simhub. So let's click on it again because it minimizes it first. Now that we've got it here, I'm going to double click on it. I'm going to change the dash to that VBox one. I'm also going to change the idle behavior. Now, typically I'm going to run the VBox dash, as you guys know, but what I will say is this, I'm going to put my idle dash on it because, well, it's my dash and that's what I want to run. And I wanted to run my logo in background. So it's pretty simple, pretty easy. Definitely worth the like 60 bucks, 70 bucks at most, depending on if you get expedited delivered, but rather cheap, rather awesome. Great little device, gives you more immersion. You don't need it. I don't need it. But for, I think it cost me 70 bucks to do. Like, come on. I can't complain. So yeah. So I appreciate you guys. If you have any questions for me, as always, leave a comment down below. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Go ahead and turn your notifications on and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate each and every one of my members that continue to support me month over month. Without you guys, some of these inexpensive builds wouldn't be possible, or the expensive stuff. So I wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you for all of your support. I've got some really cool, neat new things coming here in the near future, and I look forward to sharing them all with you all. So as always, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, and I will talk to you later. Peace.